Hold on, hold on. Damn. Good evening and welcome to the TLC Unleashed show, Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life, with your host, Traci Lynn. We are live in the studio today, and as you can see, I have no guests. So, yes, we will pan around, and those are 3 empty seats. So, surprise, we are not interviewing anyone for the next probably 7 minutes. So, you guys get to hear me talk about sports, life, and all the fun things that I love to do and fitness. So, we just came back from the Olympia weekend, and we also had the Emmys going on in Hollywood. So, that was amazing. Emmys, the gifting suite. We were at Celebrity Connected this weekend down at the Biltmore. That was absolutely fun. Shout out to Gene Shanus for putting on such a wonderful event. And all the different vendors there. There was Stare Cosmetics. There was Buzz Pops, cocktails. Amazing. And so many other vendors. Bow ties. I got a new bow tie. And I'm going to make Lee wear that the next show for what he's doing right now behind the scenes. And so that was phenomenal. So the Emmys, the red carpet, we got to watch, all the winners, and such a great event. So we hopped on a plane, and I was taking obviously my SWAT fuel all weekend because I needed it, and hopped on a plane, got over to Vegas, and caught the tail end of the Olympia. Shout out to Oksana Grishina, Phil Heath, Jeremy, and who else? Who else do we want to cheer on? I mean, it was just such a great, great event. Olympia is so fun. Being surrounded by so many incredible people at the highest level of their fitness and their game is just so rewarding to be. Obviously, I was there at the tail end, but we did get to run into quite a few competitors and phenomenal people that have been in the industry for a while. One of them being Tom Terwilliger, and I didn't even have to sing that. I practiced it so many times. Legendary Mr. America, and also inspirational author. He's a motivational speaker from Colorado, and what a great interview. We actually talked for so long that my YouTube wouldn't take my video, so I will have it up by tomorrow. I promise you guys. I got to split it into two so you can see it. Phenomenal video. This guy's got a heart of gold. He's also very, very funny, so you'll look for that on my YouTube under Traci Lynn Cowan. So what else has been going on? A lot of fitness stuff. We had Abe Cruz on the show last weekend. Mindset of a Champion. He's got a book coming out. I guys, really want you to check him out. Abe Cruz on social media. Such a phenomenal guy. And again, great heart, funny, and just just a real gem. He's amazing. He's got that book coming out, and we also did a photo shoot together. We had 3 photographers. Shout out to Dan Kennedy, Andrew Bell, and Marcus Sobotele. I'm sure I butchered that, but I will fix it. And we had 3 photographers catching every angle of our photo shoot, which was phenomenal. And we got a lot of great shots. So we're going through them, sifting through the great ones right now. We're going to be hopefully getting some publications from those and some fitness magazines, as well as you guys can check them out on social media under TLC Unleashed and Traci Lynn Cowan, and also under Abe Cruz. So I'd like to give a shout out to my favorite product supplement, Dan Olesnicki, and SWAT officer, physician, and SWAT Fuel. Amazing, amazing product. I know you guys see this everywhere because I don't leave home without it. I seriously go everywhere. And you always see me walking around with a little pack. So when I'm handing out these, no, it's not drugs, guys. This is supplements. It's actually a very good product. There's a fat burner and a focus. So it gives you that longevity so that you can train longer and get you through those workouts, especially when they're longer and you have to be working out for 2 to 3 hours a day. And you have to do those conditioning circuits that, to keep up with your fitness levels and things that you're doing. So these are great for anybody at any level. So CrossFitters, workout people. Lee, I think you should take a few more of these so that you can, do some sit-ups behind the scenes there. And as long as you don't face plant, I don't want to do CPR or anything back there today. And mouth to mouth. No, that's off limits for the day. Just today, though. And we also have SWAT Fuel, too, so you can go up and check up at www.swatfuel.com. They actually have some protein powder, which is a phenomenal protein powder, also a multivitamin, and so check that out. And you can also go to my site at www.tlcunleashed.com, and I have a great announcement as well. I'd like to give a shout out to Lisa Stiles with Buzz Network TV. I'm actually going to be coming on board as a media reporter with Buzz Network TV, but for Hollywood. We're also based out of Hollywood, Arizona, Vegas, and soon to be London in 2018. So I'll be covering all the TV and big time news with Buzz Network TV. So that's very exciting. It's something new. Met up with Lisa when I was in Vegas this weekend and had a phenomenal meeting. And so it was good. It was very productive, and I'm super excited to announce that. So you guys are the first to hear it. And as you all know, that my 3 guests, when they do arrive, TJ Storm, Don the Dragon Wilson, and James Wilson, Don the Dragon Wilson's brother, and phenomenal people, producers, directors, actors, martial artists, extraordinaires. These guys have been in everything. And, they've been doing this for a while. TJ's been practicing martial arts for over 19 years. And we also have James Wilson, who's just put out a few movies, Paying Mr. Getty. So shout out to also Crystal Santos, Anita Clay, and Cynthia Rothrock. She couldn't be here tonight, you guys, because she's so busy with her schedule doing all these amazing movies and seminars and everything, traveling the world. So shout out to you, Cynthia. We'll definitely miss you here tonight on set. And but we will have Cynthia on a later show. And also another shout out to Art Camacho. And Art's going to be on a show coming up. Art's got a celebrity roast this Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun. So I hope you guys are going to be down there to see that. Shout out to my Canadian friends, Sunny Singh and Souza Singh. And I know you guys are going to be coming back in from Canada to see the celebrity roast on Saturday. And also want to let you guys know that we have Lucky Strikes Film Festival on Friday. And that film festival is also going to be an award ceremony. So we're having an award ceremony, and I'm going to be there handing out an award, and they're giving out a lot of great awards to different people. So it's going to be very exciting and honorable. And so go down and check that out. You guys can see it on my page. I've sent direct messages to people, as well as send direct messages to me, because I have quite a few guests that I can invite. So I'd love to see you guys down there. And then Don the Dragon Wilson. I'll give you a little bit of the scoop on Don. He's been in the industry for a very long time. He is 11-time world champion kickboxer. He actually has 47 knockouts, and that is in 4 decades. He has been doing, just his career has been phenomenal. His martial arts, his skill. Shout out to Steve Ross, who did a Celebrity Fest 2017 down in Orange County a couple weeks ago, and had Cynthia Rothrock, Art Camacho, Don the Dragon Wilson, and also TJ Storm doing seminars. And what a phenomenal experience. And a lot of other celebrities there just teaching skills and how to get into the business and action acting. And doing stunts and different things like that. So teaching the skill set so that people can learn how to be in this business, because this business is not easy. It's really interesting because I never, ever in a lifetime, coming from Vancouver, BC, Canada, I never really thought that I would get into acting or want to even get into acting for that matter. But the thing is that once I came over here 3.5 years ago, it just started to unravel this dream, and my journey started to expand. And again, as the fitness was for me too, I dreamed of it, but I never thought it was possible. Growing up, I suffered a lot from eating disorders, body dysmorphia, and I struggled with my weight and struggled with my look. And I was always a really tall, skinny girl that played soccer, a very high level. And, I was just skinny and stickly. And so the thing is that I never ever thought that I could be a fitness model. I never thought I could be a fitness icon and be in the fitness world and inspire and motivate people until I realized how to really love myself. And when I did that, I started to take better care of myself. I started to not abuse myself, with different things that we, kind of try out as we're, getting into our adolescent years and in our young teens and 20s, and moving through that and some addictions and things that I overcame and depression, and moving through a lot of that stuff and the eating disorders. I learned about nutrition and became a nutritionist, and I really learned how to eat and fuel my body from sport, for fitness, for life, and for success. So the thing about that is that I wanted to take it to the next level every time, because for me, it wasn't enough to just be, all-star track and field, superstar soccer player, baseball player, you name it. I played pretty much every sport there was. But I decided that I was going to take my fitness to the next level. And that happened for me, in my 20s. I was always into working out. I loved working out, and I loved the way it looked. I was obviously not as muscular and defined as I am now. This is probably the best shape of my life. But what happened is I started to change and started to be able to create a lifestyle for myself. And when we talk about as fitness professionals, we talk about this fitness lifestyle. And what that means is that you're not on a diet 24/7. You're not, it's not painful to go work out. It's pleasurable because you've created this lifestyle where you actually want to go do it. When I go work out, I absolutely dread it sometimes. I'm not going to lie. Of course, I'm human. But the thing is that I love it because I love the effect that it has on me. I was just saying to a friend today, I hadn't had a chance to work out for a couple of days. I wasn't feeling well. I had a cold, and I was traveling and doing and working. So what happened is I wasn't able to train as much as I wanted to. And it affects my moods. It affects a lot of different things for me. So I've created a lifestyle of fitness and health and wellness so that, I don't want to put, bad things into my body, meaning like alcohol and crappy food all the time and stuff like that. So the thing is it's all in moderation. It's about balance. And the key to your success is balance. And, do I cheat sometimes? I had Oreo cookies the other day. Amazing. Nutella, I found that in the grocery aisle and I shouldn't have, but I got it. But the thing is I don't eat the whole jar now. I have everything in moderation, and it's about the key to the success is balance. So, and I tell a lot of my clients as a professional and as a coach is that you want to take a little bit. So you want to just start off slow. So baby steps. So don't go in a full-blown diet, change your lifestyle, change this, change that, change everything about you. Take one thing out of your diet that isn't healthy for you. So sugar is number one. You want to take that out. And then you also want to take out dairy. You want to take out breads, things like that, so that you can be healthy. And come on in, TJ. Welcome to the show. And, so that you can create this lifestyle that's of health, and you're not, sitting there going, oh, I don't want to do this. This isn't fun. So take care of yourself. We're learning how to meal plan. It's about preparation, diet, health, wellness. You can find all the tips on my website at www.tlcunleashed.com. I'd like to welcome TJ Storm to the show, guys. I know he just got off set, so we won't have to, throw him around too much for being late. Welcome, TJ. I'm just kidding.
Hi, thank you.
Good to see you. Come on in. Hey, cool. I love the shoes. They're like tiger shoes.
Why, thank you.
Yeah, I like it.
I needed something with a little spring in them, so...
All right. And they also have a little bit of attitude.
Yes. Attitude's important in shoes.
Of course your shoes look like that. Why wouldn't they? They're TJ Storms. Welcome, TJ. It's such an honor to have you here. I was just bragging about you a little bit, and then I went into fitness and nutrition and stuff. And I was telling everybody, you know, an actor, you've been doing the study of different martial arts for over 19 years. I know that you were raised in Hawaii. And what has been your favorite martial arts? I know that your mom originally put you into playing piano, and then you guys kind of changed it up, and you're like, oh, I'll go into karate.
Yes.
And then you kind of tried to pull out of that, but she's like, oh, heck no, you're staying in this. Is that
Yes,
right?
that is correct. My mom, she was always 100% behind me. Both my parents were behind me 100% anytime I wanted to do anything. So I wanted to do piano first, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to bang on the keys and make cool music and be a rock star. And I realized after like a week of doing it that all of this practice, where you had to hold your hands a certain way and you had to hold your posture a very specific way, I realized that's a lot of work and a ton of practice. So I went on and I skipped over the piano part, and that's after they bought me a piano. And that was a big deal for them because they weren't rich or anything. And so we moved on. I got a chance to do karate, and they're like, hey, what about karate? Would you like to try that? And I'm like, yeah, sure, that sounds awesome. So I started doing that. And of course, when you're banging people's arms and legs, it hurts. And as a kid, I was like, okay, I'm done with this. And my mom's like, oh, no, you're not. You did this with piano. You're not going to do it with karate. And they never let me quit. My mom actually started taking classes along with me to make sure that I wouldn't sneak out of class. And
really?
Yeah.
And, I love the dedication of parents.
She's amazing. She was
great
amazing.
For her.
And and that dedication gave me a discipline, and that discipline gave me a career.
Well, before we dive back into martial arts, welcome to the show, James Wilson.
Hey, everybody.
It's exciting, and now...
You don't have the same shirt on?
And yeah, you guys got the memo. We apparently did not. Don the Dragon Wilson, welcome to the show. We've got the full crew here today. What a powerhouse, star-studded lineup here today. I'm excited to have you. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having me.
That's our pleasure.
Absolutely. I know that LA traffic is terrible.
Horrible.
But I guess at least we're not in hurricanes and, well, I can't say earthquakes because we just had one a few days ago. But welcome, you guys. We were just talking about TJ, and now, you know...
Coach Kane?
I actually was telling him a little bit about you guys before you got here. I was bragging about you guys, talking about how you were a 11-time world champion kickboxer.
I got very
47
lucky in
knockouts.
the ring. I was always lucky in the ring.
Lucky in the ring. I don't know if that's luck. Really, Don?
Well, for me, many times, yeah. I watched my fights myself, and I said, oh, my God, he should have just hit me with that. I got lucky again.
So you watch the tapes back and think that?
Yeah, because you know what? You really operate on subliminal. I mean, TJ can tell you, and my brother, because they're martial artists, when punches and kicks are coming by your head, you either move out of the way on your own, there's no time to think about it, or you get hit by it. And knock on wood and everything else, for 28 years, I really didn't get hit by my opponent's best stuff.
Okay. And how long have you been practicing martial arts then?
Oh, much longer than that. I started in 72, so and I work out every chance I get. You know?
Amazing. And everyone's in such great shape still. That's what I love. Everybody continues to work on themselves. And James, tell us about the beginning of your career as well.
As a martial artist?
Yes.
Well, I started in Japanese style of karate.
Okay.
It was called Shido-Ryu, which became Yoshikai karate.
Okay.
And then a grandmaster in Kung Fu put on a exhibition, and he invited all the black belts in the area to show up. He came from Connecticut. I went to it, and he sparred everybody, and he beat everybody's ass. Excuse my language.
That's okay.
Everybody's butt. And then a bunch of us just joined his class, switched styles, joined his class. And I've been a Kung Fu stylist since then. And I also did full contact karate, which is what Don started in, and then, into modern kickboxing. So we did both. And so I managed fighters. I actually managed 7 world champions.
Really?
Trained 2, Don and Richard Hill, who was a welterweight champion.
Okay.
And so that was my martial arts background. And I was a promoter. I promoted a lot. As a matter of fact, for maybe a 3 or 4 year period, I was the most prolific kickboxing promoter.
He promoted the first fight ever televised on ESPN. And that was 1979.
Really?
Yeah, 1979. And then we had very few in the martial arts world network TV fights. And he promoted my fight on NBC Sports World. So, he went from ESPN to NBC.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
So how do we decide, you guys, how did you decide what martial arts would be the style for you? Because there's so many different styles, and do we match it up with your personalities? Does it match up with, I mean, because, there's the, Tai Chi, there's the karate, there's the Krav Maga, like, how do you decide?
Well, I personally, I think the single most important thing is who the instructor is. So it's who you run into or who you come in contact with in your life.
Yeah.
That is the most important factor. And then there are styles that are better suited for your body type and, like you said, for your personality.
Yeah.
So that's true too. But I think the bottom line is the instructor.
Okay.
It's the teacher.
Okay.
Because there are great styles that have terrible teachers. There are some teachers who are like the character TJ portrayed, who they just teach people to fight, and there's others who want to beat up their students. They never want them to get better than them. There are teachers like that.
For me, my choice was done for me because I was in the Coast Guard Academy. So I took the self-defense that they had, which was Chuck Merriman. It was Goju, Japanese karate. And then the next choice I had was when I quit the Coast Guard after a year. I didn't really like the academy. I took lessons from my brother because they were free. And he taught Kung Fu. So I went from, Goju to Kung Fu, not out of choice. TJ, how did you start?
Yeah.
Like James said, it's often about the teacher. So I first had a Japanese sensei, and they barely spoke English, and they were hardcore. They trained in the old way. So they would hit you into position and let you learn your lesson through pain, which was great. If you didn't know anything else, it was great. Nowadays, I don't think you can get away with that as much. But they don't do that in schools anymore.
It's not a very commercial.
But that was the first one that I had. And then when I came to LA, I started to see, oh, wow, there's so many schools within a 5-mile radius. So I started sticking my head into everything. So I got to train with Billy Blanks, and I trained with him for over a decade. I trained with Henrik Henriksen and did Northern Shaolin Kung Fu. I trained with over 14 different styles I got to train with. And I kept on training for a long period of time, and I was really, really lucky that way. Some teachers are better than others. Some are nicer than others. They're all different, but it was a great experience.
And in all of your experiences, how has martial arts changed your lives?
Well, as a young man, I used to like to fight. So I actually started karate. I thought, because I went to a karate tournament first, and I saw a guy get kicked in the head and knocked out. And I thought, that's for me.
You like that?
That's what I want to be able to do. But when you take a class, you learn real fast. The instructors can handle you kind of easy. Yeah. And then at some point, if you stay in it, all that just slides away. By the time I'm a green belt, I don't want to fight anybody. By the time I'm a brown belt, it makes no sense to fight somebody. And a black belt, you don't feel challenged by anybody. So all that just slid away like something that's sliding off your shoulder.
Yeah, because what I've seen in my experience around, gentlemen like yourselves is that martial arts created this discipline that really allows you to be in control of yourself. And that's through my experience. And I don't know if you guys see that, even like Crystal Santos and just, in lifestyles, creating a really healthy lifestyle. I speak to, a lot of martial artists, and they're all like, I've never had a drink in my life. I've never, been drunk in my life. I know you've said that, TJ. And I think that's just phenomenal because you've created this lifestyle for yourself that's been so healthy that you don't want to be in that part of life. So,
well, I would say everybody's like that. There are plenty of drinkers and partiers in the martial arts, and and different times of my life. I worked in a nightclub for 5 years. Hulk Hogan was one of my bartenders, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
And there was a lot of drinking going on and partying going on. This is the 70s. Yeah. And the disco era. If you remember, well, you weren't around. You were around. But there may be a few. I don't. TJ, you weren't around. But anyway, in the early 70s, the club life was where that was your social life. Was dancing and disco music, and so I did quite a bit of drinking while I was training.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, where the big joke was, people said, "What's your training diet?" And I said, "White Russians." Because see, all the cream that I get, that gives me the energy to run the next day. Or you can do it when you're 18. And the drinking age was 18, by the way, back then. So I started very young as far as the partying goes. But as I got more and more into the martial arts, of course, you can't live that lifestyle. You can't perform.
Yeah.
And as a professional fighter, I mean, that was, I was very dedicated for the 10 years, 74 to 84. I was probably my prime years as an athlete. In fact, I was Fighter of the Year in 1984, Black Belt Magazine's Fighter of the Year, and that was the first time I retired, because I've retired 3 times now. But I'll fight in the parking lot if somebody's got cash.
Good to know. I'm taking you with me. So how did we turn the martial arts into action acting and the acting that you're doing today?
Well, I started because Chuck Norris was going to my fights, and he said, Don, I used to be a fighter, and I got a second career as an actor, and he said, you should move out to L.A. when you retire and try it. So I retired in 84, moved out in 85, and started acting, I guess, got my first starring role in 88, and ever since then I've been a professional actor. So that's how I started. Chuck Norris gave me the idea.
Wow.
And TJ?
I was a dancer when I first got to LA, and I hadn't really thought about doing martial art movies. I grew up on them. Saturday afternoon was black belt theater, and I grew up watching The Man with the Iron Fist and the Flying Guillotine and the Five Deadly Venoms. But I never thought about acting or action when I got here. I was just thinking about I had to dance. I got to dance, and I love dancing. Except after doing that for 5 years here, you realize you get chewed up, and they don't pay you very much for that art form. So I got a recording contract. I did that for a minute, and we totally got screwed out of that. I didn't understand what I would sign, and we just got destroyed. And after that, I was like, I'll try acting. At least if they're going to screw me, I'll see it coming. And we got
a union here, though. So
yes, we got a union, and that's what
I was never a union man until I got in one, and then I said, "Oh, I love unions.
This is nice."
Yeah.
You protected by SAG, so,
absolutely.
As long as you're working, I tell everybody we're all overpaid. Don't tell the producers.
Yeah. And I did a lot of low-budget movies in the beginning, and they didn't have choreographers because it was just too low budget. So they're like, well, you can dance. You choreograph the action. I'm like, okay. And after doing it for years, I got better at it, and I started learning a lot, mostly from my failures. And then I got good at it. After all those failures, I started getting good at it, and then I started getting hired more and more.
And James?
Well, you know what? Can I change the subject?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I want to jump into the movie.
All right.
So
Let's talk about it.
For everybody who hasn't seen it, you have to get the martial arts kit. Don plays Uncle Glenn, and TJ plays Coach Kane.
We had a big fight scene at the end of the movie, too, me and TJ.
They have a big fight, which is the climax of the movie. And you have to see it, and we are gearing up for the Martial Arts Kid 2, the sequel, which is going to be called Payback. And Traci is going to make an appearance in the movie.
Yay!
Oh, yeah.
So that's very good news.
Yes, thank you. I'm excited.
And TJ, Coach Kane, is going to come over to the light side. He's going to join Don.
It's going to be kind of a buddy picture because we were fighting each other in the beginning, but I think I taught him a lesson.
Ooh,
He still has a little bit to learn from traditional.
Spoiler alert.
Traditional martial arts. Traditional martial arts.
Right? It was a great movie. I really love it. And we've seen it a couple times. And I actually was talking about it before you guys got here. So it'll be exciting to know. When do we think that the payback will be next year sometime?
We're hoping to either start filming late this year or early next year.
Okay.
That's the plan.
Fantastic. And what I really love about that film is it is also promoting anti-bullying, because that's such a prominent thing, in this world today, and it's really disturbing, and it's one of those things that not a lot of people talk about. So for you to be able to put it into a movie and really bring light to it, I really commend you all for that, because it happens to all of us at one point in time in life, doesn't it?
But I didn't know that it had become such a problem. After we finished the movie, I Googled it, and this is a statistic. 200,000 children stay home in the U.S. every day because of bullying. 200,000 a day. Yeah. That's a. If it was a disease, it'd be like an epidemic, and we'd be doing all kinds of stuff to stop it.
Yeah.
But what it turns out is that everybody passes the buck. The school says it's not our job. The law enforcement says it's not their job. So, whose job is it? It's got to be the parents, the friends, the people that are the bystanders got to step in and stop the bully.
And it's terrible too. The one thing about that is that, and the parents usually don't know, and the friends or the family don't know, because it's that secret, because they're ashamed or they're embarrassed or humiliated, and they're humiliated into silence. And that's the thing. That's why, these parents are shocked. These kids are killing themselves at age 12, 13, 16, 18, and we're losing our children because of bullying, cyberbullying, bullying.
If a kid gets bullied, because I read up on it, and they go to the teachers, and the teachers talk to the kids, they know who, quote, ratted them out. And they're afraid they'll be in even more danger if they tell anybody. That's why it's kept a secret, because they don't want to say anything to anybody. Even if they tell their mother, then the mother calls the principal, and it gets back to the person bullying them. Yeah. And so, there's just so much fear. They're frozen. They don't know what to do. The kid's getting bullied.
And one of the good messages, I think, about the martial arts kid is the hero, played by
Jansen Panettiere.
He deals with the bully himself. He goes to martial arts school, and he learns that fear isn't the only option. And even though you may have fear, there are other options. And for a lot of us, martial arts was one of those options. I grew up in Hawaii, and there's a lot of bigger kids than you all over the place. And bullying is a natural part of humanity, I think. Yeah. And to have that option to not fear is amazing. I mean, I remember when I couldn't fight, and then 5, 6, 7 years later, I started to realize I don't fear these people at all. I can see them posturing, but they have nothing behind it. And that's a huge step in the right direction. So that's part of the message that the martial arts kid delivers, is that you do have options if you want them. Try out martial arts or try something, but find out, talk, reach out, and find your path.
Absolutely. It ties into a lot of things we're doing as well with Spice Williams Crosby, also Jennifer Silverstein. I Fight for My Life project, self-defense classes. I've been part of that, and learning self-defense, also learning with Jacob Bresler, some martial arts right now. And it's kind of tied in from not bullying, but to the other side of domestic violence, and just being able to, stand up for myself and protect myself. So we're actually going to be doing seminars all over the world for women, and teaching them how to protect themselves and to, basically fight for their life and get home to safety, so that they can get through being either attacked, mugged, raped, domestic violence issues, and things like that. So we're going to be doing that. So this year, we're starting it at the end of the year, and then all through next year as well.
I think that's a really great thing. If your listeners get the opportunity, definitely act on that before you need it. Because I've taught martial arts. We've all taught martial arts and self-defense. And you see a lot of people come to us after they needed it. Yeah. They get scared, or they've gone through some horrible thing, and they're like, I need to defend myself. But it's already happened. But if you can learn the lesson, send your children to martial arts, or go, if you're the adult, go yourself and start to learn now. It's kind of like insurance. You won't know you need it until you need it.
So true, so true. And we hear it all the time, especially when we're in these classes. And I love it. The moms are coming with the little girls, and, because you hear these statistics in colleges, girls being raped, date rape, all the stuff. And so I recommend it for all of you young women going out there, and women going with their children or their grandchildren or whatever, just getting in there and being preventative measures so that it doesn't happen to them, and stopping it before it happens. You guys are such great role models. I mean, you're doing so many great things. You've also got Paying Mr. McGetty. That's out. Yes. Let's talk a little bit about that film, James.
Yeah, we'll have Paying Mr. McGetty should be released next month.
Okay.
And it stars Don Wilson and R. Marcus Taylor. Marcus Taylor was Suge Knight in Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
And I think his character's name was it Marnie in Baby Driver?
I think so, Marnie.
And then he was also a regular on Luke Cage. And he's a regular now on a YouTube Red channel. I mean, a show called Step Up.
Yeah.
So he's a busy working actor.
I'm the bad guy in Paying Mr. McGetty.
Of course you are. Fun. You get to beat everyone up?
Oh, some of them I do more worse than that. Spoiler alert. I was bragging to everybody, well, I didn't kill anybody in The Martial Art Kid, which is true. In most of my movies, I kill the bad guys. But Paying Mr. McGetty, I kill a guy in But he was a bad guy, I think.
I think.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of an action twist with
Comedy.
What?
There's comedy in Penguin
Okay.
Spaghetti.
It's a very quirky film.
And the
Okay.
music in it is great. They had a great music producer, etc.
Okay.
And the music. I think
Kanye West has a
West's
song.
got one of his songs
Amazing.
in there. And,
That's fantastic. So you're acting, martial artist, producing, all these different things. How do you go from acting to producing? How does that transition work?
Well, I was never an actor.
Okay. So, well, Dawn, because I know you're producing that as well.
Well, Roger Corman started my career in 1988, and he suggested early on, he said, Don, you need to not just be an actor on your sets. He said, nobody cares about the quality more than you,
Yeah.
so you need to go be what they call a co-producer,
Yeah.
which means I don't put the money up, but I have mutual approval over certain creative aspects, like the
Okay.
director and the editing, the music, the story, the script, the casting. I mean, I have a lot of creative control over my films, and they call it co-producing.
Okay.
And I was suggested by Roger Corman to do that because the quality of the films, I could keep it up then. I could say, no, we need to do a bigger stunt car crash. I didn't like that one. I don't approve it. So it has to be redone.
Okay.
And I think that's one of the reasons of all the kickboxers who were doing movies in the 80s and 90s, none of them, I've starred in over 30 films now. They did a few, but then they were just kind of out of the business. I think they did some bad films that people didn't like. They didn't perform well, and then they were out of the business.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of my keys to longevity, which I suggest to anybody. Don't go for the money. Go for more of the control and accept less money to do a movie.
Okay. Very good advice. And James, producing, where do you get all these creative ideas? Where does it come from? Is it personal experience? Is it things you've seen along the way in life?
It's kind of personal experience and things I've seen. Now, for me, the martial arts kid, the way that got started is I went to a party for a producer.
Okay.
And I was there, and I walked up to him, and so I thought I'd give my brother and Cynthia Rothrock a plug. And I said to him, you know what would be cool if Don and Cynthia Rothrock together with a couple of younger people in a movie? And he says, they're too old. He goes, that won't work anymore. And I said, yeah. Well, and The Expendables was a brand new movie. And I said, you mean like it will bomb like The Expendables? And the guy goes, and he felt insulted, and he stormed off. But you know who was standing there the whole time I said that? And he reacted like that? Cynthia, standing right next to me.
Wow.
So I was ticked off, so I said it kind of a little aggressive at him. And he walked off, and then at that very moment, I said, I'm going to make a movie. And so I thought about it, and one of the movies that martial artists that we all love is The Karate Kid, but as real martial artists.
Yeah.
There's parts about it that really bug us.
Yeah.
I mean, really bug us.
Yeah.
The wax on, wax off.
Yeah.
You know, that's just good for movies. It's not good for martial arts.
Well, it's Stallone's Rocky, which was a great movie, by the way, won the Academy Award.
Yes.
He needed footwork, so his trainer got a chicken, and he chased the chicken, and then Apollo Creed couldn't hit him. Well, you know what? I had great footwork. I think I can brag about it. I never chased any chickens.
and I'm sure
he wanted it to be more real.
And I'm sure boxers don't like seeing that.
Yeah,
They don't chase chickens. I've never heard of a chicken in a boxing gym.
Yeah. So there's things in the Karate Kid that we don't like. One is the idea that a kid can take a few months lessons and go to the biggest tournament and beat the best black belts in the nation.
Yeah.
And do it with an injured leg from a crane stance. That just drives us all crazy. And Ralph Macchio obviously did a great job because the movie's a hit.
Oh, he's a wonderful
But
actor.
when the guy who ends up winning that tournament can't even bend his knee completely, can't even actually snap a kick correctly, not at any time in the movie, it just it irritates us. And Miyagi is a great character, but that guy is not a guy any parent should send their kid to take lessons from.
Yeah.
A guy who's a hard drinker, he's got his own problems, he's a hermit, nobody knows him, he's out on a weird guy.
Yeah.
You don't
absolutely.
send your kids. You could take them to the school where professional instructors like TJ's character, Coach Kane, and Don's character, Uncle Glenn, where they have run a professional business, and families and groups are there taking classes.
Okay, so all the things that you didn't like about the Karate Kid, you brought it together, same concept, polished it up, and made it ideal.
And made
Perfect.
everything more realistic. First of all, our kid, because you've seen the movie, so you know the first thing you see is him getting arrested.
Yeah.
So everything is a little more real and a little more raw, and a little more, desperate feeling. Because he's headed into trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. TJ, we got to talk about you and some of the roles you've done. Deadpool, Colossus. Let's share with our viewers and listeners just a little bit about that role and how you got it and how it was and the experience for you. I mean, Colossus is a huge character in Deadpool, and everybody loves Colossus. So tell us about that experience. That's so cool.
It's fun to be part of the Marvel Universe. I was first in the Marvel Universe in the movie The Punisher Warzone, and I play an Irish gang leader named McGinty.
Okay.
And then later I got lucky. I do a lot of motion capture, and that's the kind of acting that you wear a suit and it has special markers on it, and after you act in front of these special cameras, the computers take all that information and turn you into whatever the director needs. So in this case, it was Colossus from the X-Men, and he ends up being one of the allies of Deadpool in the Deadpool movie. And he's a 7-foot-tall, silver, metallic Russian guy. And so the director said, hey, we need somebody who's really good at moving in a very specific way, but can still act and get across all of the ideas that we need. And they found me, and my friend Darren Ross from Blur Studios is like, dude, we got to bring you in. This is going to be great. And he did, and I got to work with Tim Miller, and we created the character Colossus. And I was really lucky to be a part of that.
And you were great. They were lucky.
It was really fun.
Yeah,
really fun.
you were amazing.
It
That's
was
so
really,
cool.
great.
Very cool. You're so humble about it. So tell me who some of your mentors are. I mean, just men of your stature in this industry. I mean, who mentors you? Who do you look up to in the industry?
Well, first, of course, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
I do look up to Bruce Lee and the martial art world and the movie world. And then Chuck Norris, for me, was a good example. I followed his footsteps. He was actually known to be a fighter like I was before he did his first line of dialogue. It's not like if Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal and those guys had never done a movie, we wouldn't be talking about them.
Yeah.
Because they did not accomplish. I mean, Seagal had a school, and Jean-Claude did compete as a point fighter, amateur point fighter, for a short time in Belgium. But they were not well-known martial artists and then went to the films. That's what Chuck and I did.
Yeah.
So, that's... I hope that answers
Leading
your
off
question.
of that, Don, I want to know what's been the highlight of your career when you just look back at everything that you've done and just you remember back and remember that just that one thing that stands out the most to you. What's been the highlight of your career to you?
Sick-a-tick.
Well, now that I got very lucky again. That was a big fight for me. I was fighting an undefeated fighter from Europe who was. They claimed he was something like 29 out of 30 knockouts. He was knocking everybody out. And they sent me 3 of his fights. And,
in London, they made Don a 5-1 underdog.
Yeah, people were betting against me. Everybody was. But they should have, though, actually, because he was the exact guys that I don't like fighting. He was tall, had a great right hand. And now I can say this now because I'm done fighting. Yeah. But my left eye has astigmatism. And that's why I fight southpaw, because this is my good eye. Okay. But I can't really see on this side of my head. And I all the punishment I took for 28 years was all on the left side of my head. So anyway, he had the exact weapon to beat me. Okay. And sure enough, a week before the fight, I break my hand, dislocate my thumb. It's broken in 3 places, my thumb. And but I'm not going to pull out of the fight. I never pulled out of one fight. And I wasn't going to start then. So I go into the fight, and in the 3rd or 4th round, since I don't have a right hand, I throw my left right down the middle, straight left, hits him on the forehead and breaks my knuckle. If you look at this, it's the same length.
Oh, no.
This is where your finger's supposed to be. So now I sit down in the 3rd or 4th, I think it was the 4th round. I sit down, I've got 2 broken hands. And he's sitting over there. He's not even breaking a sweat yet.
Oh, no.
The fight has actually not started yet. It doesn't start until he puts his opponents up against the ropes. Because once they can't move, he throws a series of punches, mainly right hands. He measures them with the left, might throw a little hook, but it's all right hands. I watched 3 of his fights. He knocked them all 3 out with the right hands. So I told all my training partners, everybody, I'm going to knock him out with a right hook when I get the ropes. Because he's going to try to throw the right hand, and my right hook is closer. It's going to hit him. And they go, oh, yeah, good, Don, good. Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So 7th round, he puts me up against the ropes. So I've been waiting 7 rounds for this. Now's my big chance. I've been practicing it for months. I throw the right hook and I missed.
Oh no!
I missed. But my subliminal mind was so programmed, I just came back and threw another one right behind it, hit him, ruptured his eardrum, broke his jaw. When he hits the floor, he broke his nose. When he got up, the fight was over. That was it. They ended up throwing the towel in because I started unloading on him.
And that was one of your 47 knockouts.
High point because I was supposed to lose that fight, and I should have even lost it even more with 2 broken hands.
If you get down talking about fights, he'll never stop.
Yeah. I'll be talking about all my fights. But you know, that was an important fight. I had a lot of champions that I fought, but like my brother was saying, we'd be here all night long talking about fights.
Wow.
So I want to get my mentors real quick.
Yeah.
So mine are actually not even in the entertainment industry.
Okay.
They're all businessmen.
Okay.
And one is a great friend of mine. His name is Joe Simsoli.
Okay.
And he's a giant in the apparel industry. So he's like a mentor to me and very helpful.
Making our shirts.
And the other would be Dr. Robert Goldman, who you know.
Yes, absolutely.
And he's a giant in the anti-aging industry, in the fitness industry.
Yes.
And
phenomenal man.
Yes, incredible man. Very successful as well. Also a businessman.
Yeah.
And the other is, I had him in my mind. Oh, Alan Goldberg.
Okay.
So he's a mentor of mine. He's a martial artist, and his business is martial arts, and he puts on the biggest and best martial arts event in America every year.
I think I've been around the world.
In
I think
Atlantic
it's the best
City.
in the world. It's my most fun because
When is that event?
Everybody comes
It's
to
in
it every
January.
year.
Okay.
In
And
Atlantic
where?
City,
Atlantic
New
City,
Jersey.
Tropicana.
Very nice.
It's a
Okay.
fantastic event.
Okay.
TJ's been there. He can tell
That's
you.
great.
It's just,
Yeah.
It's really great.
everybody's there,
Amazing.
and it's huge. And the fourth would be another businessman. His name is Maurice Elmalem.
Okay.
And I listen to him, and he's a good businessman. He's a contractor in New York City, so they're all in 4 different businesses, but all of them are like mentors to me.
Amazing.
Even though none of them are in the entertainment
Yeah,
business.
no, but it does make sense because, I mean, this
Business.
is a business. So, and TJ and you?
When I was a kid, it was absolutely Bruce Lee. I remember watching television, and Bruce Lee came on television. I'm like, wow, he's different than everybody else on television, but he's still cool. He's even more cool than everybody else. And then later I discovered Jackie Chan, and he was amazingly funny and clever and ultra athletic. Jim Kelly, later Jet Li, and then people like Michael Jackson and Prince. Even though they're in a completely different industry, they were so inspiring, and they understood. They had such vision that I was like, if you can have a vision like that, if you can trailblaze and be your own thing, that is amazing. That's beautiful, and I love that. And they gave a voice to millions of people, and I love that. And their legacy still lives on. So I'm
Absolutely.
just loving all of that.
Good. And also, too, I mean, you've had quite an extensive career. What has been the highlight of your career or even your life to that?
I don't know how to capture it as highlights because each one I keep thinking, it's never going to get better than this. It got better. So I got to play Colossus. I got to work with Don the Dragon Wilson. I grew up watching Don the Dragon Wilson and all these action movies, and that's amazing. I got to fight with him. I got to be the guy that fights with him. And I watched at least 25 movies where he
thank you very
destroys
much.
all the people. It's awesome. It's amazing. And
Godzilla?
I got to be Godzilla.
Yeah.
I grew up watching Godzilla, the king of monsters, and now I'm Godzilla. It's wonderful to be a part of some of these projects and
Haven't you
tell
been
some of these
Wolverine
stories.
as well?
Yeah, in video games, I've been Wolverine.
Avatar?
I've been in Avatar.
Yeah,
Yes,
that was cool.
I've been
I watched that.
Really, really fortunate to be part of these wonderful projects, and they're fun, and you get to see
Yeah.
them on the big screen. You're like, that's me, and it's the best. It's really, really
Yeah.
exciting and really, really fun. And now I have people will come up to us during conventions and like, you inspired me to do this thing, to take martial arts, to some of them read comic books or play video games, and they say, you're the best voice, or your motion or your acting inspired me to do this thing. And that's really, 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 really gratifying. It's amazing. So I'm glad to be a part of the storytelling culture and part
Let
of
me
the
throw
new
something
mythology.
else in, too. Because when they fought, the stunt coordinator was James Liu.
Okay.
James Liu just
great.
won the Emmy.
He
Just won the
did.
Emmy.
Cage.
Congratulations to James
And he's
Liu,
coming
that's
back
right.
for payback as the stunt coordinator.
Oh, can I fight
So
Don?
you can't
in
get better
a
than
scene?
that.
We'll have a wrestling match.
All right. If I win, I'm fighting him in a movie. Does that work? You guys heard it here. All right. Godzilla, let's talk about that experience a little bit because, I mean, that is phenomenal. We talked about how you found out you kind of walked on set. Tell us about that moment. Remember you had told me about before.
A friend of mine called and he's like, hey, could you come down to the set tomorrow? We have some questions. Now, in our industry, a lot of the stuff that we shoot is super top secret. I won't even know what it is until I get there. Because there's NDAs and the studios don't want you to talk about it. They want to have the spotlight when they want to throw it out there. So I went there. I didn't know what it was. And it was a big empty warehouse. And they're like, there's three of us standing there and Garrett Warren, who was the action director. And he simply goes, you're Muto 1, you're Muto 2. And he pointed at me and he says, and you're Godzilla. And I was like, what? Could you say that again? And he said, you're Godzilla. Let's get to work. And that's how it started. It was just that easy. And I had no clue. But he also knew that I'd done a lot of stuff. I worked with him on Avatar. I can do a lot of, fun movement and stuff like that. And I can do the performance. And I got to do it for that project. And the rest is gigantic king-sized history, which is awesome.
Amazing. I love that story. James, let's talk about a little bit about highlights of your life or your career.
Well, the first highlight was the first world champion I trained and managed, which was Don winning the title, and I promoted that fight on ESPN. No, actually, that was a syndicated.
It was not
show.
on ESPN.
Yeah, it was a syndicated show when Don won the world title. So that was a real big for me. And as any instructor, and these guys are both instructors.
Yeah.
So they can tell you that it's more rewarding for you when your student
of course
really does something special than when you actually even do it yourself. You get. Well, TJ has actually trained some people. Like there's a young woman named what's Jerry, who's black, the woman who wins all the time, an older woman.
Don't call her an older woman.
No.
She was in Florida. She was in Florida just a month ago.
Which one?
Dark hair.
Oh, I know her well. She's a friend.
I'm freezing up on the name.
She's one of your students.
One of your students?
She is.
You trained her all the time.
He has so many students he can't remember.
Tamar Springer.
Tamar
Springer.
Sorry, Tamar. We for
it's okay. Just a little mind blank.
So
I just saw her.
Tamar Springer goes all over the country to the biggest tournaments by herself. And TJ is kind of like her coach. Prepped her for competition. And she goes and wins all the time. It's like the most amazing thing.
She's amazing, but she's got the passion and the spirit, and she's tireless. So
I know you must just feel terribly rewarded by that.
It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see her winning, and she puts the work in. So that's the secret.
And then seeing the martial arts kid completed and turning out so good was very rewarding. And paying Mr. McGetty was very rewarding. And like I said, I managed 7 world champions. One was Cheryl Wheeler, who was my producing partner as well. She's a famous world kickboxing champion. So when she won the title, and I managed her. That was super, super rewarding. And I'd like to mention, because you talked about women's self-defense, I'm very, very pro that. I think that's very important. And as you know, in the martial arts kid, we have Cynthia Rothrock.
Yes.
And Crystal is also in it.
Yeah, I mentioned that earlier before you guys got here. Shout out to those two incredible women. They're just phenomenal. And I have to say to all of you, you have inspired me to pick up martial arts and to step up my level of my fitness to the next level. And my level of confidence in myself and my surroundings and my awareness since I've picked up martial arts has been incredible. So I really want to thank all of you, Crystal, also Cynthia Rothrock, for inspiring me, because I'm always watching you guys and just seeing, and it just doesn't stop for you guys. Are always bettering yourselves, and that's what I've always wanted to do in life, and I knew that was possible. I just didn't know my dream was possible to be in California and to get into acting and do all these things. But better yet, just the self-discipline and learning the art of martial arts has been incredible for me, and I just really want to thank you. It means a lot to me. You guys are incredible. Where can we find you so that you can coach other people as well?
Well, I'm on Facebook, as everybody is. Just Don Wilson, and my face will be on there. So there may be some fan sites. So if you go to Don the Dragon Wilson, of course there are fan sites. But mine is under Don Wilson, and they should be able to recognize my picture.
Perfect.
Don does a lot of seminars.
Yeah, so we can find the
TJ
seminars
actually has
on
a
there.
place where he teaches out of.
Yeah, I
Okay.
teach in Jerry Blank's World Karate Dojo in Pacific Palisades. I'm also on Facebook and the all-knowing Google. Instagram, I'm Stormzy, and on Twitter, I'm TJStorm01.
All right. Any words of wisdom for up-and-coming actors trying to get into this business from each and one of you?
Well, I think I'll say the same thing that other people like me would say, which was one time I was at the Arnold Classic with Arnold and Chuck Norris, and we were all doing a show together. And we talked briefly about how none of us were given a chance. But Arnold believed in himself. He couldn't even speak English, but he believed he was going to be a big star. And he became, at the time I was sitting with him, he was the highest paid actor in the world because he got $15 million, I think, for Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Chuck had the #1 action show in the world, which was Walker, Texas Ranger, had just started it. And I had my picture in Time magazine for being one of the top 4 direct-to-video stars. So we had all, in our own areas, proven that even with everything that is against you and everybody telling you can't make it in show business, 6-foot-tall Asian with a Southern accent, Chuck, they said, was too old to be an actor, and Arnold couldn't even speak English and looked freakish. We all became successful. Yeah. So everybody out there that wants to do something, don't let people discourage you or censor yourself or give up before you even try. Just believe in yourself, and I think that's the key. If you believe in yourself, you don't need everybody telling you you're going to make it.
Absolutely.
And I say audition, audition, and audition.
Okay.
And do not let rejection stop you.
Okay.
Because
thank you, James.
A lot of people, they just can't handle the rejection. I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
So they're even scared to go audition.
Yeah, exactly. Rejection. And James Wilson, we can find you also on Facebook under your name?
You can find me on Facebook. You can also go to the websites of the movies and businesses. And
Perfect.
I think you can contact
So
them
Martial Art
as well.
Kid Part 1, also paying Mr. Maggette, and then TJ Storm, we've got his information. You guys, it's been such a pleasure having you on the show, all three of you all at once. I know how busy your schedules are, so thank you for making time. And I hope we all are going to see everyone this weekend, maybe on Saturday, for Art Camacho's Celebrity Roast.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to spill the beans on. I want to tell people the truth about Art Camacho.
I'm excited.
They don't have any idea. Yeah. Art's offered me bribes already, and I said, I'm sorry, I got to come clean.
It's going to be a fun night. We are fueled and powered by SWAT Fuel. We're going to be giving SWAT Fuel out tonight to these guys so they can try it. And #1 fat burner and supplement out there. You can find me every week, Wednesday, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the TLC Unleashed Show, Hollywood Vibes, Sports and Life at www.tlcunleashed.com. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks again for coming in, you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was fun.